Okay, so I want to do a follow-up video on some of the weed stocks. I've been talking about them during the elections back in November, and then now we're getting close to the end of the year, so I was anticipating that we would start to get some more attention because it's going to go before the Senate for the vote for the MORE Act. So I built, like I said, it's important to build a watch list, and the reason it's important to build a watch list is for this reason I'm about to point out. So I said I was going to go back to them. I saw that there was some movement in the market in general, and I was like, well, let me look at my weed stocks that are on my watch list, and one of them was TLRY. So the strategy that I had pointed out on the hourly a couple weeks back that would have warranted you large returns over 400%. We can bring that up, actually. Let me bring that up so I can show what I'm talking about. If you don't remember or if you're new to watching. So I'll go here, 30 simple moving average, here. All right, so it would have warranted you 451%. If you would have held, you would be negative 66. So this is a good strategy. This would have been since 2018. So almost 3 years now. Is that right? Let's see the first trade. First trade was August. So yeah, about 2 years. So over the past 2 years, if you would have just traded the simple strategy of whenever the price closes above the 30 MA, you open a trade. Whenever it closes below it, you close your trade. So today, you can see here at about 12:30. So say lunchtime. Let me minimize this. We don't need this anymore. I just wanted to show that real quick. It would have given you an entry, right? But I also said that you kind of wait a candle. So here, price closed at 778, and the MA was at 777. Here it was at 776. We closed at 777. So you would have got in here, and then you would have opened your trade. Your target, let's see. Your stop loss would have been. Let me pull up the TD sequential. So your stop loss, if you wanted to kind of be aggressive with it, I would say your stop loss would have been, if I'm being aggressive, say 717. Let me make sure I'm streaming. Yeah, I'm streaming. Okay. Your stop loss would have been, yeah, so maybe you could have used the hourly, but I would have used the 4 hour. So 717, which would have been a drop of, let's see, from your entry, right about right here, say 778. The drop would have been about 8%. So you scale, you would calculate your risk on that. I'll show you real quick. So I say 2%, right? So that would have been, what was it, 7.8%? 7.84%. So let me go here. 717 divided by your entry would have been 778 minus 1. So that's your risk of loss. So you would invert that, and then you would multiply that by 2%, whatever 2% of your account would be. So if it would have been, say your total account's 100, 2% would be $2. So multiply by 2, the most risk you could have taken anticipating a drop, and that's where you would have sold if you wanted to be aggressive on your trade, would be $25. Now, if you didn't want to do that, you could have just, like I said, the indicator's there for you to trade. So you would have exited at, a candle close below 775. So yeah, so this is what I wanted to talk about. You had a close above the 30 MA. You open a position, and then post market, it is up It's up to 940. So everything. The thing about TA, so it's up almost 20% in post market. So what caused this? In technical analysis, they tell you everything you need to know about a company is in the price action. And this is a perfect example of everything you need to know is in the price action. There's movement here. Maybe, I'm not going to say that there's or speculate that there was maybe a little bit. There was, insider trading, or there was news that got out before the general public, but the price went up. As a whole, the market was up, but price went up. We're above this 30 MA. We enter a trade. So why did it go up? So let me type in TLRY stock. I go here. I go to my news, and right here, there's a merger announcement that happened at 4:45. Market closes at 3. This is 4:45 Eastern time, so that is 3:45 Central if you're in the Central time zone. So 45 minutes after the market closes, there's an announcement that there's going to be a merger. There's an announcement that there's going to be a merger, and price skyrockets. So now let's look at this other stock, APHA. What happened there? How did that? Does that work with our 30 MA strategy? I've never looked at this stock before. I'm doing this cold, and it did. So right here, we can pull that. We can look at that strategy too. I'm assuming they're both in the same market. Let's see what that strategy would have warranted here. We got 451 for TLRY. We got 190% over the. This starts in November, but pretty much over the same course. You got a bigger return with TLRY. That's what's nice about having the strategy tester and trading view, and having maybe a little bit of the code on here is not difficult, so you're able to run your strategy. The return wasn't as large, but the strategy still worked. Still worked for this. So closed here. I would have waited a candle, and I would have entered here. Where's it post market? Post market, it's at 9:35, so about the same. Let's go here. We would have waited a candle. Let's say we would have got in here. We would be up 15%. So I want to do that quick analysis on that, just to show that there's people that say you can't time the market. There is a saying, timing the market is difficult. Time in the market will yield you a return. That might not be the exact same, but that's the premise. There's nothing better than time in the market, because overall you do have a return. You do get a return. But yeah, you can time the market. Study. Technical analysis works. This is a perfect example of technical analysis working. So let's look at this on a daily. You have your so there's a bunch of targets here that I have. This one's coming from the 4-hour, because I usually trade the 4-hour and the daily, but that aside from the 1-hour strategy, target here at 1321. We can look back, since we're taking a more of a. Oh, this is actually drawn wrong. Let me reverse this real quick. This is the Fibonacci retracement. Go right there. That's the way it's supposed to be drawn. So if we want to look at what sort of resistance is above us right now, 40. That would be the 23% area of this retracement. So that could be big resistance. There's also a T sequential on the daily that says that would be resistance. So yeah, we have all of these actually before we go and start to count our returns. We have a lot of resistance to go through, but mainly I want to do this video to show that technical analysis works. If I'm looking at it here, we're going to get a daily flip. That's going to bring us a 1. We can bring up the RSI real quick to see how far we were below. That's going to give us a big run up. 4-hour, it'll probably get us into the oversold area. There could be some early morning selling. The RSI is going to be oversold, so there's going to be a lot of price discovery in the morning, most likely. We can look at what it was doing on the Ichimoku cloud. On the hourly, it's going to go right through all that resistance. It's going to go through all that resistance. Let me clean this up a little bit. Here, it's going to go through all that resistance. Weekly, it's going to, like I said, there's going to be a lot of price discovery. This is an announcement of a merger. We'll see how the market adapts to it. There's really not enough data here to form the based on the settings that I use to kind of form a good weekly Ichimoku cloud. But on the daily, we're good. We'll see how that goes. We can look at the weekly trend, that longer term trend. We had the short and the intermediate closing above the long term. This is kind of a reversal candle. It's like a doji candle is what it's called. These moving averages are going to trend up. This could have been a bounce area. Did that show you anything on the RSI? Was there anything on the RSI? No, nothing that stood out. On the weekly, 4 hour, nothing that stood out. Let's see if we have some bullish divergence of price coming down. Nope. Maybe a little bit there. Let's look at the CMF because that's going to tell us. I mean, there we go. So here we go. This is bullish divergence. So I talk about bearish divergence. This is bullish divergence. So we can take it all the way from here. We have price going down and the CMF going up. Let's take it from here. That means that there's buyers coming into the market. I don't know. I didn't really know. I mean, I saw the merger announcement, but I didn't know that there was previous talks. Maybe there was previous talks, all the way back in December. Beginning of December 9th. What day is today? 15th. No, those talks talks don't happen that quickly, but maybe, there's anticipation of an announcement. And then as price goes lower, you're just getting buyers in, and this is loading up, and there you go. You had a breakout announcement, and then there's a breakout, and that's bullish divergence. So I talk about bearish divergence. This is an example of bullish divergence. You're getting that's the term in the trading space, bullish divergence. I have a little bit of a math background, so this is convergence. These are converging together, but staying true to the way the way they talk about it in trading. It's bullish divergence. So divergence here. Price goes up. I mean, that was the indicator right there. We had bullish divergence. We had a cross above our 30 MA. Let's see. Our TD count did, this is a 9 for a reversal. We consolidated down a little bit more, and then we had a bounce up. That was 3 things that said, hey, maybe, there could be a trade here. Let's see what the Bollinger Bands look like. You were kind of on the bottom of them. I'm saying on the hourly chart because that's where we enter our trade off of. Stop and reversal points, they had broken here. That's another sign to go in. Anything else? Nah. We can look at on-balance volume. Was that trending up? Not so much. It did right at the end, but price started to move up. There wasn't a bullish divergence here and on-balance volume. We can look at the general volume, though, and see if there was an increase in buying towards the end of the day. Not really. Not really. That's a decrease in volume in the hourly for sure. It depends on what indicators you use. I like to use the CMF. I like to use the RSI. I like TD sequential. I like this 1 hour strategy. It works. I've back tested it on a bunch of different assets. Sometimes the best strategy are the simplest ones. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I'll look at maybe I saw. I'll look at. We can look at Airbnb because they just IPO'd real quick. To see how that's going. I don't think it's going too well. Not too well. That's not too well. Let's see what the loss would have been. So if I would have entered, say, right when the IPO opened, I would be down 16%. That's not great. What else kind of IPO'd recently? Academy IPO'd recently. Let's see. That looks like it's doing well. Let's zoom out a little bit. It's actually doing well. So it opened September. So about IPOs, I don't like to trade IPOs until there's some price discovery that develops. A lot of people would jump on them, and man, if you would have bought this in the IPO, you'd look like a genius, right? But if you would have done Airbnb, you wouldn't have looked so smart. I like to wait till I start to get my counts on my TD sequential, right? You really don't have them on the daily. You could go down maybe to the 4 hour, and then you start to get some counts. And then you start to see some price action start to develop. And here, you got a 9. Price went down, price broke it, and then you came back and tested it here. You got a price breakout above this 9. You got a 9 here. We're going up a little bit. Maybe we expect a reversal on the daily. It says still you have 4 more days. Weekly, there's not enough time there's nothing developed there. Let's look at Airbnb real quick because I didn't pull the TD sequential on that. Nothing there on the daily. 4 hour, nothing yet. See, it just kind of, so nothing really there. I'm not going to take this trade. I don't like IPOs. I want some price action. I want some price discovery. What else? Just IPO. Doordash. Let's see. Yep. Kind of reversal. The RSI is probably oversold. It almost got there. What about Airbnb? Was it oversold on Airbnb? Yeah, it was. Right there. You could have taken a position there, but that wouldn't have gotten you much. What was the close here? Yeah, 1%. Yeah, it's best to. There's always other opportunities in trading. Don't get fixated on something, and this is a good example of that. Where were we? Doordash. Yeah, so let this, let some other people take the risk. Let some price discovery happen, and then you can make a better decision. So yeah, there's really nothing there. So anyway, quick video, quick as I possibly can. TLRY, Aurora Cannabis was also one of those. I think you had a buy as well. Yeah, you did right here on the hourly. You would have, yep. So what would that return be? Closed here. Post market, it's up to 1047. Based on that TLRY news, up 5%. Not as good as TLRY, but let's see another one. CGC. I think they're probably all climbing together. No, this one stayed pretty flat. Yeah, so that's it. TLRY, perfect example of TA works. News, everything you need to know about the company is in the price action. So, thanks for watching.